Welcome to our second podcast, our second track of the Rootz of Chicago podcast. My name is DJ Cisco with Rootz of Chicago, and I'd like to welcome you and invite you to our musical journey as we uncover the unwritten history of Chicago house music through interviews with DJs and producers right here from Chicago. And before we get started, I'd like to welcome some of our co-hosts from our first episode. Let's welcome Ricardo Sandoval from the Rootz of Chicago board and president. Welcome.
It's good to be here, guys.
Let's give it up for Pedro de Jesus, DJ and attorney.
Happy to be here.
And our first guest couldn't leave the mic, and he's back for more. This guy needs no introduction, but I'll give him one anyway. Tyree Cooper, the awesome super duper trooper.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Yes, I'm glad to be here. Thank you, fellas.
And I'd like to welcome Pilsen native Charles Bass, Chicago producer.
Yeah, guys. Good to see you guys.
What's up, Charles? And then our second guest is Chicago through and through, born and bred. He's been contributing through production and DJing to the Chicago house scene for over 30 years, released over 49 tracks across several labels and his own record label, Fresca Records. Let's welcome DJ and producer, DJ Jess.
You're too kind. Thank you, guys. What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, Jess? Welcome to the podcast. We're gonna jump right into it. I think the very first time I met you was when you were working at Hip House, and you had this banger track with Prayer that came out on Bad Boy Bill's Bang in the Box, and I remember that track, Bang the Box. It was a bass rattler. It made the two 10-inch kickers I had in my trunk go crazy. So tell me about your history, especially working at not just at Hip House, but as a producer and DJ. We're going to jump into everything, but tell me something about With Prayer and working at Hip House.
Well, With Prayer was a track that was originally produced in 1993. I know it came out in 1995 under Chicago Groove, which is Julian Perez's label, as well as our big brother Benji, rest in peace. I was kind of honored, man, to be the first release on there, and that whole track came about. I was experimenting with acid at the time, and I sampled The Doors. The song is called The Salt Parade. I had listened to the record, and there was one specific part that said With Prayer, and for some reason it stood out. And then I decided to mess around with Moscow Disco, the train. I just was visualizing this like hypnotic track that I knew was going to just hit all over the world for some reason. It's one of the tracks that I knew that was going to do really good for Chicago Groove and myself, of course. Then, at the time, I was working at a few record stores, actually, but the first place that I worked, it was in a record store, was a flea market, Sunshine on Division off of Pulaski, run by Andre Lopez. I was discovered there. Benji discovered me there a couple years after that and was like, "You want to work at a real record store?" So I was like, "Sure, let's do it." And then he goes, "You won't be freezing your butt off over here, man. You'll be working at a real store." I was like, "Let's do it, man. Let's go for it." So the rest was history. I worked for him for 5 years, and then I wanted to expand my knowledge in music with different genres, and I knew that that could be done working at Gramaphone. Gramaphone is like, man, the institution to work for, thanks to Andy Moy. I asked him, man, is it possible to get a job there? He goes, "Oh, bro, I would love it, but like, you don't feel bad leaving Benji?" I was like, it's not even about that, man. I want to just expand my love and passion for new music. And, Benji's kind of limited. So one thing led to another. I ended up working at Gramaphone from like 1994 to about like 1999. I could be off a little bit, guys, but it was the most fun working there. I was educated on more music genres. Met a lot of people that were just music enthusiasts, and it was just really, really nice to be accepted at that type of store in its time.
Gramaphone is, like you said, an institution, right?
Truly.
If you're a DJ from Chicago, North Side, South Side, West Side, even from Indiana, you went to Gramaphone.
Everybody went to Gramaphone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You went to,
Yeah.
It's
a staple, man, for sure.
You went to Gramaphone, and you were digging through crates and crates and crates and crates, and asking, the awesome DJs that work there. Hey, I'm looking for this track. Sing it. You know, before Shazam, before all this stuff.
I was notorious for that, man.
You had
one little beat. I was like, oh, yeah, that's DBX.
Yeah.
How did you know that? I was like, because we only sold like about 1,000 copies of that. So it was easy for me to identify what they were talking about. You know?
Well, Jess, what did that do for your career? I mean, like working at Gramaphone and being exposed to all of the legendary DJs that came in and out of that place.
And P, that's a really great question. Actually, it not only did it give me the knowledge of music, learning music from a record store standpoint, but it also opened up a lot of doors to work in the nightclubs. Like I got to DJ at Shelter, of course the Warehouse. That was my residency for 5 years. And more party promoters would come in, and I would take care of them with music. Like, man, you're pretty cool, man. Would you like to play here or there? So it was just a nice experience and a good place to work to make those connections. So it was very imperative that you were humbled. Sometimes, man, just being humble and just doing what you do, man, brings a lot of people to you that are going to open up doors for you, man. So it was really great experience for that.
I almost forgot about that aspect. Promoters used to go and drop off flyers
100%.
at the record shop, right?
Yeah.
That counter when you were checking out, it was full of flyers.
Because they know everybody was in and out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you would pick up a couple records and you're like, oh, Jess is going to be here. Oh, Tyree's going to be here. I'm going to go check them out while I'm checking out these records. So what got you started into DJing and to mixing? Like, where did you grow up?
I grew up in a little village. I was born in Mexico. I was raised here from the 1977. So when we got here, I was, I was still little, but one of my older brothers used to listen to a lot of rock. And then somehow, man, we just stumbled onto a BMX, and I noticed before house hit really big, we were listening to a lot of Italo house, a lot of Les Ans Dangerous, Los Niños, Girls. I mean, to me, those, they weren't so much house records to me. They were still kind of Italo with their own sound. So, I don't want people to think, oh, he just grew up with house music. No, house music, it came like in the mid 80s, like 84, 85. Then we started hearing a lot of house music, and Tyree could be my witness or even check me because, he's one of the originals.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let you ride.
Yeah, no, right on. But, so I got really kind of locked into that sound, man. So then my brothers, They started their own little DJ company, A&B, Artie and Beto Productions, and they were playing at a lot of little basements of churches that people would rent out to throw their own events. And I was really, honestly, I was really taken by that because I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting. But when they first bought turntables, man, that was it, man. I looked at the turntables and was like, I knew automatically, yeah, I'm gonna be messing with that as I grow older and stuff. And the rest was history, man. 39, 40 years here I am, still doing it up, thank God. So
it's you mentioned church. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how many DJs you hear their stories and church basement. Like my first party, the first promotion that I threw at 16 was in my church gym, my school gym. You know what I mean? And Pete was there. And, St. Pete, right? Throughout Chicago, we have these festivals that are church related, bringing out DJs, local and artists. Sure. So it's just ironic, right? Like community builds another community. So I listen to a lot of your tracks. You have, close to 50 tracks out there, which is amazing. I think it's amazing to have that many tracks, not only creative wise, but actually out there. Listening to a lot of your songs, it's hard to pinpoint your style because you have a broad range. You tap into salsa, you tap into kind of a Latin vibe. Then you have kind of like an acid, almost techno vibe. You span a lot of different genres. What's your favorite, or what's I guess my question is, what's your creative process?
Well, you know what, working at the record stores that we spoke about earlier, I think that's what made me just be creative, just from selling so many records, man, that had their own twist. I kind of just took that and ran with it and just told myself, you know what, don't be a one track sound type of guy. So I was experimenting with like you said, hard house. I love working with like little salsa sounds and stuff. So my process is basically, man, just getting ideas from other DJs, other singers, salsa singers, like this. I'm imagining that the salsa vibe that you're talking about is something that you heard that's current. I was inspired by Hector Lavoe. He's like a salsa god. Guys like that. Ruben Blades is another one, man, that I was really inspired when I heard their music. And when I messed with their sounds, it wasn't to disrespect them. It was to honor them and to see if I could put a twist, a dance twist to their songs. And somehow, some way it worked, man. And they've been really successful tracks that have been doing good. And, it's just, I'm just sharing the appreciation and giving them their flowers and respect. It's nothing other than that. It's just.
Can you remember the first remix you did?
Yeah, I certainly can. And that was a track for my brother Tyree Cooper.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Coincidentally.
and big brother, I'm glad that you bring that up because a lot of people don't know, but I was on Dance Mania on several projects.
Oh, no kidding.
Working with other, I worked with Funk, and a lot of people don't know that, nor do I ever mention it, man, because, they were helping me out and bringing in my name to the scene. And Tyree was a big person, man, that really brought me in and showed me the game. He's actually the one that taught me how to sample on my MPC 60. Him and Fast Eddie, and I'm forever grateful. I've mentioned it many times. I like to give people their flowers while they're here, but he played a big role in my success for music. Because I did a remix for "Do Your Thing," which is still a popular track right now. If you play that, it will go.
I love Do Your Thing. And I'm glad we didn't talk about it in your interview because it's a green label. I know it. So I'm glad you brought that up because Do Your Thing, again, is kind of in that With Prayer era.
Yes.
That's kind of when I started, mid 90s. So I was, deep into that song. And I want to thank you, like I thank Tyree, for inspiring me as a DJ and other producers and DJs to continue to be DJing. You're also part of the board of Rootz of Chicago. Yes. I know you were asked to be on it. Why did you accept to be on the board?
For many reasons. I think that our job as producers, I've mentioned this before. I already pretty much mastered my craft. So now the thing to do is give back to the community. I think it's important that we get a lot of kids off the street. A lot of these kids are from single parents, from just moms, and they really don't have no outlet, man. So my thing is just to try and build something that we can inspire kids to follow our steps, because Little Village Boys Club, that's what it did for me. I was taught by Val Rodriguez. Thank you, Val. He taught 6 of us DJs, and I'll never forget that, man. I kind of want to do the same thing with Rootz of Chicago. We want to show kids the art form of mixing, and then when they graduate from mixing, then they're going to go to producing. So these are really things that really caught my attention, and it kind of becomes part of my passion and what I want to do. I mean, come on, I've DJed all over the world, produced so many records. I think now, just staying humble and just giving the next kids, the next generation, give them a chance to really shine like we did once. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. And with that, please hit subscribe, hit that like button.
Yes, guys.
Please donate if you can. If you can't, just hit the like button, hit subscribe. It'll definitely help us with sponsors. And since we're talking about sponsors, QSC, RCF, Alpha Theta, Pioneer, whoever, if you guys are willing to throw us some equipment, we'll take it, we'll review it. Not just them, but big stores like Guitar Center, Sweetwater, AV Max here in Chicago, Gear Club Direct. We're giving you free shout outs right now. Send us some equipment. We could review it here for our viewers. And if you can't donate, please subscribe. Please hit that like button.
Yeah, and before we go on, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I forgot I brought you a couple gifts.
Yeah.
Some of my records that I had brought for you especially. One is one of the Fresca releases.
Nice.
Was a really nice EP, actually, because it was tributed to a girlfriend of mine, Martha Boomer. Rest in peace. She was a big part of Fresca Recordings. She took care of a lot of the artwork for me. and a lot of the licensing deals when I was dealing with Spain. And I also brought you a throwback from Contaminated Records, Mixologist, which is a record that's still selling hot on my Bandcamp. So
that's nice.
Don't forget to visit my Bandcamp. You'll be surprised.
Yes, visit the Bandcamp. Right.
Yes.
Just to add for Rootz, it's also learning the business part of DJing, the business part of producing, because a lot of people forget that aspect of it. Yeah, you can make songs, but you also have to be able to make some money off of it and learn how to run a business, right? So,
speaking of money, we're doing this for free. No one here is getting paid. We're all getting volunteers.
What?
Wait, they told me we was getting
We gotta
It's
go.
all volunteer work.
It's all the love, baby.
I'd like to thank the LPR room, Lincoln Park room, fast becoming one of the finest one-stop shops for marketing, advertising, and audio-video production. The agency also hosts the monthly Oz Park Fest, named for the nearby city park. Step into Chicago's most inspiring creative space. A listening lounge meets art house, built for makers, storytellers, designers, musicians, filmmakers, and innovators. This place is beautiful.
This place is amazing. The entire place is
real
amazing.
talk. Real talk. I love
Come
this place.
speak to Anastasio, talk to Francisco. They'll hook you up here. This place is awesome. I also want to give a shout out to another one of our sponsors, Atotonilco Taqueria. Started as a small taco stand. In the heart of Chicago's Little Village. And crafted with love by visionary brothers Oscar and Raul Munoz in 1972. Since our humble inception, we have been on a mission to blend tradition with innovation. His eagerness to provide the freshest ingredients inspired Oscar Munoz to open his own tortilleria to continue his family's commitment to authenticity and quality. Man,
I'm getting hungry.
Right
Just listen to
Right.
it.
So like, man.
Atotonilco, I used to live like 3 blocks away from there. Now I moved back up north. I still have to drive back all the way to the south side to get me some good tacos. And it's Atotonilco, but I call it AT's, Antoine's. I don't know. And another one of our sponsors, La Casa del Pueblo, our name says it all. We are your neighborhood grocer with a large selection of ethnic products at a friendly price. We strive to carry brand name products you grew up with and still love. Our established relationship with significant manufacturers allow us to purchase in large quantities so we can pass on our savings to our customers. Our cordial and knowledgeable staff is eager to assist you with specific product requests. Be sure to check out La Casa del Pueblo in Pilsen. Thank you to our sponsors. And again, please donate if you can. If you can't, like button, subscribe. And check out our first podcast if you didn't see that with Tyree. Tyree, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, the group, man. This is my brother. I told you we brothers, man. One for all for myself. I mean, one for all for everybody.
All for myself.
So we talked a little bit about the DJ side. We talked about a little bit of you working. Now, let's move into that production aspect. You have 49 releases.
Probably more, but that sounds about right.
And you have your own label. Let's talk about Fresca a little bit. What made you do Fresca?
Well, what made me start Fresca is because I was releasing, numerous releases on different labels. And, I would get advances and it was great, but I wouldn't see anything after that. So I felt like I was being kind of ripped off. And so, that led me to just start my own label. And I wanted full control. I wanted to sign different artists. I mean, of course, I started with myself, and then I started bringing in different producers that I was helping with their tracks, mastering their tracks, or resequencing, or what have you. And so that was the reason that I started Fresca Recordings. And at the same time, I did it to kind of help the underdogs, because I always saw myself as the underdog. So I was like, you know what? There's a lot of good producers, but they'll never be, found because no one wants to give them a chance. People like Charles Bass, he's been around for a while, but he's like, I could say he's one of the guys that's very overlooked, and he's a talented guy, by the way, and helps me with a lot of my masterings. And so, I build it for the people that probably will never get a chance. And so with Fresca Recordings, I did it as a stepping stone to kind of put people in the forefront, and then from there, what happens after that, that's on them, So Fresca Recordings is a well-established label all over the world. One of my proud moments is when I got to go to Argentina 2 years ago. It was a good trip because I signed an artist named De La Casa out there. We released a vinyl record in which he had 2 tracks that were remixed by Franco Cinelli, which is from Rosario, Argentina, and Jorge Saboretti. He's from out there from Rosario, Argentina. I got to travel over there and meet. I didn't meet Franco, but I met Jorge, and we established a really great working relationship. We, man, they're like kind of us, real good brothers, and it's nice to have that connection. And so soon after that, I started signing more artists from like Italy, Milan, and different other areas in Italy, man. Which is it's something that I was proud of because of course you always want to think outside of Chicago and outside of the States, and I think that's really key for me. That's what I want to do with my label. I want to just bring a lot of people together, and I think it's working with different artists all over the world has shaped Fresca into what it is now, man. It's a worldwide label that's getting respect everywhere. I have a new release coming out, which is DJ Jazz featuring Curtis B, and it's called Come and Get It. It's digitally right now on my Bandcamp site, but I am doing vinyl, and that'll be coming out at the beginning of April, so mid-April. So I'm excited. Be doing a release party for that, so stay tuned for that. And man, really excited for that. And then of course, I told myself that I'm going to be doing an album a year. So I did 3 albums in my career. I'm going to be doing the 4th one this coming June.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that, man, because that sets the tone for Fresca, man, to keep going, and it makes me push it that much harder, man. Get more people enticed to just be on our label and work with us,
Yeah, I think. I don't know you very well. We met a couple times. We DJed a couple times together. And now that we're in the board together, I see how humble you are. I see your motivation, your creativity. You have a different lens, a different perspective that you bring not only to your music, but to what we bring to the table as a group of Rootz of Chicago. So I want to thank you for that. And thank you for welcoming me as well. Because in Chicago, we could be a little cutthroat. Not a little, a little cutthroat.
Man, brother, we talking about big scissors.
we could be a little critical, of our DJs as other DJs and as party goers. We're always looking at the DJ booth when we hear some train tracks or some horse races going on.
We're very critical for that.
So,
or gym shoes in the dryer.
Gym shoes in the dryer. Yeah. So your DJ career, I would say, at least spans over 30 years.
Close to 40 now, yeah.
So how do you prepare for your gigs? Like, what is it that you do?
Man, honestly, and I love how I prepare because, first of all, especially if there's turntables on deck with CDJs, 3000s, whatever, because that's a standard. I literally go through all my records, man, to pick out music. And I'm going to take video one day because people probably don't believe me, because I still believe I worked at a lot of record stores. I still have about 6,000 records, and I collected the best records of the '90s, early 2000s. Because Tyree, was the '90s the best house music ever, man? Come on, man.
Yeah, I would say that was pretty good. I'm always rep the '80s, because that's what started. That's what started from, and from that, the '90s. But I'll never diss the '90s. No, the '90s had some. That's the golden age of house.
80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
Yeah, but the 90s is the golden age of house.
Yeah, I would say 85 to like 98.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, but the 90s was pretty much the golden age. Because you got to have the, you got, I'm not going to take over, but you got to have an embryonic stage. You got to have the embryo, and then it has to grow.
Absolutely.
From that, like with Jess, as he was getting into, like me and Jess had thousands of conversations when I worked at the record store with him about production. This was going into the 90s, really into the 90s. And the amount of music that came out in the 90s, you would not believe. You would not believe. Amazing. It doubled what it came out in the 80s. So that's why I say, yeah, the 90s, 100%.
Yeah. So we're talking about decades, right? What would you say is the biggest difference in the nightlife, right, as DJs between the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, now we're in the 20s, right? There's a long time. And you DJ'd a lot of that. So what would you say is like the biggest difference between the decades?
The biggest difference is the phones, man. The technology, honestly, is just that kind of just ruined a good thing. And I'm not knocking technology. Technology is great for many things, but I honestly think, man, they do not belong in the clubs, man. Keep the phone in your car or somewhere, because that really kind of took the enjoyment, the pleasure of just enjoying music for what
People aren't present.
Exactly.
They're not present.
Yeah, they're on a someone's jamming on. They're like, oh, let me just text this person, or let me post that I'm here at the club, and that's the difference, man. You know, when I was clubbing back then, it was like people just went for the music. The Warehouse, for example, man, Tyree, you know, man, it was about the sound, the music, the vibe, man. It was just people were into it. They were just like oohing and screaming and going, and that's something that you don't really see as much. You know?
So me and you just started working together. Probably about 2002, 2003 was around there.
Yes,
we started working at the Loft. It was him and Fast Eddie, and I remember I showed you the picture earlier.
Yeah.
So back then it was like it was a vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, the Loft was like, we're going to the vibe. I've had Javante Monet with Lego. I've had you, and so it was always like that scene was like just a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
People used to this day still tell me I used to love the Loft. So
people used to dress up, man. Yeah. They used to smell good. They wanted to look good, dance. And
by the end of the night, they're all
hair's all nappy, makeup's all over the place. But you know what? People went there and enjoyed themselves, enjoyed the music, and you know those are the moments that changed everything, man. You know, it's different now. You know, it's a new generation too. So
for me, I think my career in the industry started around 96, 97.
Okay,
and I think the peak was in that 2000, 2001, 2002. But I always tell people there's a before and there's an after.
Absolutely.
There was before 9/11 and there was an after 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what you're talking about, when people used to dress up, kind of looking like Rick over here, he's got his collared shirt, right?
Dapper and everything.
You know, looking dapper, paying $20 to get in, you know, to get into a club, because it was popping. It was, everybody was going out. You know? And then 9/11 hit. And then clubs were hurting, right? People were hurting. DJs were hurting. Promoters were hurting. So you can walk in like this, because they were just trying to get anybody to come in, because a lot of people, they just stopped going out. So I think that was huge, other than the phones. And I also remember calling people out. I don't know if you remember, like the Bluetooth headphones, like the little Motorola Bluetooth headphones.
Yes.
And I would call out people on the mic. I'm like, bro, why are you wearing a Bluetooth headphone? There's nobody calling you. Right? Nobody's calling you, bro. And if you were to pick up, you can't hear it. You're in the club. Like,
and they kept them on all the time. Muy
importante.
So you're an international DJ. What? And we asked Tyree this. Obviously, he fought through wars. He DJed through wars in Bosnia.
I believe it.
What country is probably the best country that you DJed at?
I'm going to say Barcelona, Spain.
Oh, I love Barcelona.
Amazing. I played at this club called Florida 135. And, man, the way we entered in there, man, it was like entering like a coliseum, or like there was like literally 6,000 people in there, man. That was it. It took a while. It was actually outside of Barcelona. It was in Fresca. And I remember it took like 2 hours to get there. Oh my God, that place was magnificent. And also when I played in Argentina, man, and the Argentinians, man, I really love their vibe. Spain too, because they're really knowledgeable about music. They could tell you artists, they could tell you label. When it came out, I was like, oh, I didn't really expect that, but I was really impressed by that. That's one thing that impresses me, and I get turned on by when people know their knowledge about producers and music, man. It was they were really intelligent people, man, them Argentinians, and they were just love to vibe, man, you know. And I really like how South America is really taking off with the music. You know, they're really into it, and I see them bringing a lot of people from here, from all over the States, which is nice, you know. And that's something that has even changed, you know, in Chicago. I mean, I remember a lot of DJs, big DJs would play at mega clubs, and you don't see that. It's like we're losing the club scene.
And you know what? When you talk about Europe, I remember one thing I noticed when I went to Europe is that when people dance, they don't have to dance with people. They'll just dance.
Oh yeah, by
looking
themselves.
At the DJ, and they're jamming
with
out,
their arms
you know?
out.
And I was like, oh wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
Over here, obviously, in Chicago, people dance together, but over there, it's the first time I really noticed people don't. They could dance by themselves or in a group, but they're facing the DJ.
Exactly.
So that's
You're right. You're absolutely right, man. They're all. It's like they're at where we were in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And
they give no.
And they're more open-minded to music out
absolutely.
there. When I was in Spain, dude, like I went to Blanco y Negro.
Blanco y Negro,
And
yeah.
that place.
What you
they
call
play-
it?
Blanco y Negro.
Oh.
That's, yeah.
You're calling my brother.
It's the Jamaican accent.
And they were playing like
My
techno.
bad,
They were playing like hard techno. They were playing house. It just go right across the board. And people, it wasn't like I'd go like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and it was the same crowd. It was,
And it's a different vibe.
they're
What do the
very
clubs go
devoted.
to
They're
like
very
next
devoted.
day?
Yeah.
Till
Oh, no, they go to
12
like
in the
6 in the morning,
afternoon,
6,
yeah.
7 in the
Oh,
morning.
yeah.
And they're very devoted to the music. I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah.
it's a whole different scene there.
But it's our job to, keep these kids educated and keep them humble more than anything.
It sort of reminds me of the rave scene here.
Yeah.
It's very devoted scene.
Oh, man. The
Because
rave scene was,
yeah,
I
the
used to love the
raves,
rave scene.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why remember you from the rave scene back in the day. In
Oh,
Chicago.
yeah, man.
That was
I used to
big.
love it. I used to love it. My first rave was Kaleidoscope was my first rave, and it was near around the corner from Crowbar, man. They had a lot of warehouses, and I just remember, man, kids were like, I mean, a lot of them were on drugs. I'm not gonna lie, let's not sugarcoat it, but they were into the music, man. They were dancing for hours nonstop, like 6-7 hours. They were just dancing, sweating. They come out of there all just wet of sweat, and that's what I kind of miss. Well, yeah, I mean, it was a dusty warehouse and stuff, yeah. But you know what? That as a DJ, you love that because
it was awesome.
you had them under your control,
Yeah.
under your music, no complaints. Oh, play this, or asking you for requests. It was,
Can I
the
get a
vibe was
request?
just
Can I get
amazing.
you to
man.
play,
Yeah, so
That's what I was going to ask you. You don't think that's the difference between outside of the telephone, the fact that today you can get they kind of request the song as opposed to letting you play your sound. Can you play LPR Room by
You're a DJ, not a jukebox.
yeah.
Exactly.
So you
I
don't think that's a
people
difference in
understand
today as opposed to yesterday?
Well, I'll be honest, it really hasn't happened to me, but I know that exists. Now they got the kids with their phone. Hey, play Britney Spears or
But
something.
again, that
like
goes to the whole technology thing.
Exactly.
People have so much music at their disposal with a phone
Access.
that they know a lot of songs. Before, you had to wait for the DJ to, that's a good song, because they're the ones. Back then, you didn't have access to all these songs immediately.
Well, as a DJ, you had to read the crowd.
Yeah, but I
You
think
had to read the
clubs.
crowd. Now it's like, I'm going to go up to the DJ and start playing that song, and then they play that song.
And that's what I
want
want to say. I think
now it's like you're playing something and it may not fit, but then you drop that next track and people go nuts.
That's
they
what I was
lose it.
club owners should really take control of that because I see it happening too much. I think they're the ones that should have at least two bouncers, like, hey man, step away, or sign.
Yes.
No
I concur.
requests, or leave the
I
DJ alone.
concur.
Because
I concur.
I've been seeing that even videos in different countries where people
Yeah.
are just taking over the booth. Like, who is it? Do they got to throw them off? And it's getting ridiculous, man. Guys, respect the DJ, respect the clubs, respect yourselves more than anything, man.
So
we're working.
Let me ask you a question. What is your take on this? Now the evolution of the DJ has been the DJ is now the artist, right? Where before you go, the DJ was the person who played the music, right? But now people are coming. You'll get 3,000 people in a room because that's the performance. The performance is the person DJing, right? What is your take on that?
Well, I mean, for many people, it's a good thing. And maybe for other people, it ain't a good thing. I mean, because they probably feel pressure to like, for instance, my thing is like, okay, I've been DJing all my life. I want to take it to another step. I want to start doing live PAs, which means I'm making my tracks live because I think after a while, kids or people in general want something different. You know what I mean? And that's when you said artists, that's a good form that you brought, because as artists, I think it's time that we perform our music.
Yeah,
it's
like going to a concert now.
Exactly.
I mean, you'll get 3,000 kids in a room, and they're like, because they came to see that person. Like that they came to see a performance from that person.
I do want to add a little wrinkle to your point, because me and Charles went to a thing one day, and this DJ young lady, she had a lot of followers, and she's gonna be here, and I'm like, oh, cool, remember?
Yeah.
And when she got up there, I was like, this is not DJing.
Well, she spent like the first 20 minutes taking pictures of herself on stage.
Yeah, no, I'm serious.
And there's a lot of good female DJs out there. I'm not like
That's
this
not
and
nothing to do
everything.
with that. It's just,
but it was more of a show to her than it wasn't like a job. I think it's because it's a job.
Because,
I don't know if everybody here looks at it as a job, but
what
it's
she
a fun
was
job.
doing was literally, just raising and lowering the volumes, not really mixing. She was like tweaking, and it's like, that's not DJing.
That's not an artist. You know what I mean?
That's not an artist.
That's
Exactly right.
My point is that the social media lets them get up there, but it's like you're not really doing a favor to the DJ, because you're not really DJing. You're just lowering one song to the next, And that's, to me, that was like, those blends were really off.
Sadly, we live in a life now where the dumber things you do as an artist or performer, the more you get like applaud for that. Like when the guy that was throwing cakes,
Stevie Aoki.
I mean, people were like going crazy because he was doing that. It was like, dude, you're killing kind of the culture, man, by doing stuff like that. I mean, what are you gaining from that? You know what I mean? So, you know, it's like, if you're gonna be an artist, man, be an artist, man. Perform good shows. Even if you're just DJing, you know, play your tracks, play new tracks, but do a nice show, man. Don't sit there and take selfies of yourself. That looks too tacky, man.
Yeah,
and I
take
think
it seriously as an artist.
Take it seriously, man.
Yeah.
That's what's ruining the scene sometimes, you know, from what I see, you know, looking into like social media and stuff. It's too much of it.
And I think what's also happened is a lot of producers who made good tracks were being booked to DJ, but they weren't DJ.
But they didn't know how to do.
They didn't know how to
right.
mix.
Yeah.
So now they're coming out with pre-recorded stuff.
Yeah.
Pretending
That was the 90s.
Yeah.
That was part of the 90s.
But
That
still exists.
2010s too. I think Cruella is a good.
I'm not gonna name drop, but there's a few
'Cause
DJs
I
well
heard
known. Well, now they're DJs, but they were producers then. That got busted with the DAT tape in the DAT.
Yeah.
Because that won't skip.
Or that sync button, right?
Oh, no, I did a show once where the
CD.
DJ only did one blend from here to there, and it was the same mix. It was just, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I've seen that too with a big
no,
DJ too. With a
no,
big
yeah,
DJ. I don't want to mention any names because they like the guy. He's a nice guy, and
I was watching
Yeah.
someone DJ on YouTube, and she was only mixing on the right side. So I was trying to fast forward. I'm like, okay, when is she going to switch to the other side? And she never switched to the other side.
did.
It was always the same side.
With that, you know, you could do Serato like that, right?
Yeah, but she had two. She definitely was not
I was testing
instant
your DJ
double.
skills.
She wasn't instant
I was
doubling.
testing your DJ.
She
I
wasn't.
knew you knew.
She wasn't instant doubling. Come on, Tyree.
Now you're insulting him.
Yeah,
I know. I
Don't
knew it. I
insult
was,
his intelligence,
no, I'm not.
man.
No,
Okay.
brothers, my brother Cisco, I'm never insulting.
Nah, it's all good.
Question it, but never
There
insulted.
you go.
Okay. Speaking of intelligence, let's go to the AI route, right? Because AI is taking over a lot of things, and it's, you know, creeping into music and production. Where's your stance with AI?
I don't have no problem with it, but I'm gonna say this much: I just seen that Bandcamp took down a lot of songs that was produced through AI because they want to stay organically.
Yeah.
They want the music to come from a producer's heart and soul. If you use it, God bless. That's not my thing. I don't support it now. Who knows later? I don't know. But if it works for you, God bless. But I did want to mention that if you making AI music, chances are it might be taken down.
Track source too. They took it.
See what I'm saying? Because I mean that's like cheating, man. Like, come on. I mean, you don't
Well,
have the skill or the love to create something on your own.
Well, and like me and Charles talk, is it though? Is it cheating because you can't sing, and you have an advantage? You have the ability because of technology to take an existing vocal, manipulate it into your
I don't
work.
know. I don't think AI is any different than a sample pack.
Ooh.
Oh boy. Okay.
We'll talk. That's another
Yeah.
episode.
Something like that. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Is
what
it
I'm
though?
saying. It's
And
for
a lot of
some.
people do
It's for
sample
some.
packs.
That's
Like
what
I
I'm
said,
saying.
I'm not knocking it. If it works for you, God bless. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
me,
with you
I
on
just,
that. I'm with you
I
on
just
that.
make my music differently.
So
man.
would you put it in the same category as a sync button?
No,
No,
it's not the same as
because
the same. But
that's
that's
me.
really cheating.
No.
Yeah.
That's really cheating.
Yeah.
With AI, I don't think it's cheating to that degree. It helps in production.
Yeah, you still need a level of creativity. There.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you still need creativity with the sync button because you got to know the music.
You don't need no creativity
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
sync button.
No, just
you
take
gotta
that
know
back.
Where are you going to put this track from this track to the next? You still gotta know the music.
Shall I
I'm just
remind
trying
you?
to
So you have to
Shall
find the
shall I
break.
remind you?
I know.
Shall I remind you of this last summer when
Yes,
we was
I
at
know.
Chicago? Yes.
I
You don't
remember.
need.
I was there.
Yes, I know you
I saw
were there.
I saw you panic.
Yes, you did. So you don't need talent. Just
That's like me saying I'm an attorney, but I use ChatGPT.
Yeah, right.
I mean, is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
fair? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, come on,
do
man.
they use that in law?
They do use AI in law, but you still need that person to come in
Exactly,
and say,
right.
I'm going to look at this and I'm actually going to make it legal, right? I mean, that's the thing with AI too. You create something with AI, you can't copyright it. Yeah,
That's what
you
I'm saying.
you can't
People
copyright
be
it.
careful, man. That's what I'm saying. So, like I said, man, if AI works for you, God bless, man. I just love creating my drum patterns, my little bass lines. I love that, man. I'm not a musician, so that's all I could do for now. Or I could hire musicians too and stuff.
All right, let's transition and thank again our sponsors, LPR Room, Totonilco Tacos, and La Casa del Pueblo. LPR Room, I can't give enough props to Stas and Francisco. Thank you so much for letting us be here. And let's move into the rapid fire section. Quick mix, rapid fire section.
Why are you watching me? Why are you looking at me?
Rapid, quick. So we can bounce around and anybody can answer this. Tacos or tortas?
Tacos.
Yeah, I'm going to say tacos too.
Tacos.
Tortas.
Tacos.
Yeah. Okay. Old school house or new school?
Old school house.
Old school.
Beides. I mean, that's German. Both.
New school.
I'm gonna go with both.
I don't know. We can say both, but yeah.
Yeah, he cheated because he's using AI. So
see what I'm saying? You don't know
But I was both in German.
Is
I
it
said
Terry
Beides.
Cooper or is it
Don't say that.
Cubs or
That
Sox?
happened.
Socks, baby?
Socks.
Cubs.
Socks.
I'm gonna go with both because they sell alcohol on the north side and the south
you
side.
gotta choose. You gotta choose.
It's Chicago. You got to choose one.
Do you prefer to mix in a packed club or a festival, outdoor festival?
Both, but I do like the festivals, man, because you're outdoor, man. You
I
know?
like producing the outdoor festival.
Oh,
for sure.
got him.
No, we had this debate. I like the Pack Club, man, because an outdoor festival, people just standing around. Like I want to see excitement and activity.
I have to say both because the club gives you that intimate, but outdoor you just freaking free. You're just free.
There's some musty people in clubs too, though, man.
It's some musty people on the outside too. Trust me.
Yeah, but the wind will take care of that. Now we can trapped in the room.
That's why I say it's
People
musty.
be talking to me. I'm like,
Wind.
man, where's the mask? And shit? No,
That wind.
Yeah, no, but it's, I like both.
Was it? You say clubs or?
Clubs or festivals.
Clubs or festivals.
Gosh, I don't like either, man.
He likes being in his basement. That's
I
what
like
he
being in my basement. No, actually, man, I like the Rays more, man. Like it was different, dude. The dark vibe, you know, the dirtiness. The people just are more accepting.
To run around naked in there.
I remember a couple times when you did that.
So I'm gonna
That's how I
go.
met you.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go
Your
festivals.
date
DJing clubs for so long, it's just kind of gotten stale for me, and the music is not the same. The crowd is not the same. People don't drink as much as they used to, so it's just not the same. So I'm gonna go with the outdoor festival. What is the worst technical fail that you've encountered at any gig?
DJing without headphones in Arizona. I got a little buzzed and left my headphones in the hotel room. And there was a DJ from New York. I was like, hey, man, do you mind if I borrow your headphones? She said, no, man. And I was like, back then they were using the Vestex mixer that drains the whole bass. So, man, that's what I was doing. And people...
Wait a minute.
She wouldn't let you use your headphones?
No, he was like, no, man, you can't use them. I'm like,
Wait a
man, I
minute,
wanna
wait
give
a
them
minute.
back.
What?
Yeah.
So how did you mix?
Well, I was looking at the level, at the meter level.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I would bring it in and I would just throw it in, and then with that mixture, I was saying, I forgot what model Vesic that was, but if you kill the bass, you won't hear nothing but
that's
you
right.
would hear nothing but the mid and the high.
That's right.
So that's what I was doing. I was just like, and man, at the end of my set, people were like, man, you were throwing out. I'm like, you must be lying because like the music you were playing was incredible.
Wow.
Like, man, you know, I'll be honest, I was DJing with no headphones. Like, man, you couldn't even tell. Like,
obviously not on vinyl. Obviously, we're talking about on vinyl. I messed up big time. I finished the set at Pasha, I think mid-20s. And I unplugged it on my boy Sticks. Like I cut the music off.
That has happened to every DJ at some point, that power chord.
And I hit that power chord, and he gave me the dirtiest look, and he just wanted to kill me. And I'm like, oh, damn. And prime time, you know, this is prime time. And
Mine was, I told a story earlier. It wasn't really technical, but me and Radical Jess were mixing at a wedding. And all of a sudden, I look up and there's a chair flying from the left to the right, literally a chair. And then back in the day, the Civil War, where lines, one line is here, one line is here, they both came together in the middle of the dance floor. It was just an all-out brawl. Even the bride was in there throwing punches. I was like, okay, we're done here. Get all our equipment off the stage before we get hit with a chair.
You guys probably started that fight, man.
You know, Jess is a peaceful guy. We did not start no fight, but we got out of there quick.
Yeah, weddings or something.
And this is we had crates of records. We had to move 5 crates of records out of the way, you know.
Tyra, you got to fail?
Listen, I mean, I have had, power. I have had no headphones. I have had forgot back in the crates day. You forgot that one crate, right? You forgot that one crate, like, and you're just like, what are you gonna do?
That's true. That's a good one.
So one time I'm in Amsterdam, party packed, everything is working. I was using Serato. I plugged everything in. I used the box, and next thing you know, this I'm going backwards.
Oh yeah, bad RCA cable.
That's what you think. So
Just have to flip it around.
that's what happened.
Oh, you had the red and white.
But it took me an
Yeah,
hour.
on those
It took
Serato,
me
you
an
have to flip the
hour
cable.
to figure it out. And these geniuses, sound guys, say, "Oh, well, something's wrong with Serato box. You need to get it." No. So after an hour, I played 3 hours. Luckily, after the first hour, it was like, wait, hold on. Like,
You don't know how many calls when Serato came out. You don't know how many calls I got. I was like the Serato IT guy. They're like, "Hey, bro, you gotta come over here. Something's wrong." I would get a call on my cell phone like, "Hey, it's not working. Did you check that your whites are you with whites and your reds are you with reds?" Yeah. Change your cables. Oh, we got it. We're good. I'm like, oh man. I think I should. Serato owes me some stock or something because
So not the sync button. That's not.
No.
It wasn't the same button?
No, it was the backwards, man.
No, this summer, remember? That's still fresh. I'm sorry.
what happened? Something happened.
So I'm not gonna say the DJ name. The DJ played before me on the same equipment. There was a DJ that played before me. It was one that played before me, and then I played after him. And it was between. So one guy played before me, then another guy played on another sound system, and I came after him. And so when I get there, I'm like, okay, the first record is fine, but I'm using the pitch, and I'm like, what's wrong with the record?
He's looking at me.
Yeah, I'm looking at Rick. I'm like, what's going on? Like, Rick can come over and fix it like it's his equipment. I'm like, what is? I'm like, Rick. He's like, Corky.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, what the hell? And some say, look at the whole thing, because now my pride and my professionalism that question, because the mixes are on beat, kind of, sort of, but you could tell the record was slowing down and one was speeding up. I looked at it, I was like, who the fuck uses a sync button?
Sync button.
I looked over at Rick, was like, using the sync button. He's like, no.
I know who it was.
Yeah, he knew who it was. I didn't know. I couldn't even think of. I know who it is now.
Why'd you look at Charles when you did that?
Because Charles wasn't there.
Oh.
I was looking at.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, Rick was there.
So it wasn't.
So
Not
before
this.
we wrap up today's podcast, thank you so much, Jess, for being here, and Tyree for jumping back on again, and then the rest of the board here at Rootz of Chicago. And I'd like to kick it off to Pete with some news on Rootz of Chicago that definitely want to share with everyone.
So this started out as an idea, Rick and some of the others here, but we are now officially a tax-exempt organization. We are officially a 501c3 tax-exempt not-for-profit, and so we will take those donations. They are now tax-deductible.
Yes. Send them in.
Yeah, send them in.
Hurry up and send them
So
in.
that's what you gotta do. You gotta scan that code right there, and then they'll just send you the money.
Yeah.
Do that then.
Yeah,
So,
scan the code.
Scan the code on the bottom of your screen, smash the like button,
Yes.
hit subscribe. If you can't donate, at least please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so we can get some donations and some sponsors from any corporate. If you work for anybody, give us a good word.
Or for yourself, you could just donate and you can deduct that from your tax.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I also want to apologize to everybody for delaying the podcast. I also have some news. My wife and I just had our second child.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Baby's going to be a month old, so I'm sorry we took a little long for this podcast, but we're going to keep going, keep rocking. Thank you so much for joining us today. Track 2 with DJ Jess and the board of Rootz of Chicago. We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you guys for
Yes.
having me. Thank you, Anastasio, Francisco.
Anastasio.
Thank you, brother.
Cisco. Thank you.